Everyone, 6 o'clock here on your Thursday, your Friday Junior. Happy MEA weekend to all you kiddos out there.
Yeah, the parents are like, what are we going to do with the kids? We still have to go to work. They're out of school.
Exactly.
So let's get to meteorologist John Ziegler. Hopefully they can just get outside and play all day.
Love that awkward moment for parents, you know what I mean? It's the battle. Gorgeous shot out here right now. Cloud cover very low across the cities, but it is giving us this 50 degrees. It's giving us that nice warm start. We'll have a cool start tomorrow. So yes, the parents who still have to go out there, we are still dealing with a couple things here. One thing that I've been watching, and if you've been watching the past hour, you know I've been looking at clear conditions, and now all of a sudden Carver and looks like 10 and 12 out there start to show some fog. And that is because the temperatures have slowly been cooling west of the Twin Cities here. So we'll see what happens as the skies clear a little back here. We have fog developing in Moorhead, Alexandria, and Wilmer right now. So give yourself extra time. Again, you can see those 40s starting to show up here in Glencoe. So we'll see if the cooler air starts to seep in. Otherwise, going to be some great weather. And we will talk about that long-range cool down in your forecast.
All right, thank you, John. All right, looking at Rogers this morning, the stretch of 94, looking great. No fog that I'm seeing so far on these cameras, at least in the West Metro. We're going to keep looking, though. This is 394 heading from kind of the Golden Valley area into downtown Minneapolis. So I'm going to keep checking the cameras in the West Metro for that fog, of course, so you can stay on top of that for your commute. Jason.
All right, Jen, we will check in with you in a bit. Thank you so much. This morning kicks off the big MEA weekend, meaning students across the state will not have class for the next 2 days.
Yeah, the fall break happens every year, but what is MEA? So here's a reminder for folks. MEA stands for Minnesota Educators Academy. It's a chance for educators to gather for a professional development conference. It always happens on the second to last Thursday in October, and it makes for a really huge travel weekend for so many families in Minnesota. Megan Rice is at MSP Airport this morning. Megan, how are the lines shaping up?
You know what? It looks almost better than it did the last half hour when we checked in. So let's look right now. Okay, so North Security Checkpoint, less than 15 minutes. South Security Checkpoint, less than 20 minutes. So looking pretty good, I would say, this morning. Now, staff at MSP are anticipating about a 12% jump in the number of people flying this weekend compared to normal, with 49,000 people potentially coming through these doors today alone. They're anticipating it being a record-breaking weekend this year for MEA. So if you're headed here today, a couple suggestions. You'll want to get here 2 hours ahead of time if you're flying a domestic flight, 3 hours ahead of time if you're taking a flight out of the country. And if you want to save yourself some time, you can actually make a reservation for the security line. We've got a link on our website. Now, as we've said, be prepared for crowds at MSP as they're anticipating. Staff here are thinking it's going to be the busiest MEA travel weekend in years.
Treat this as your holiday, get here early, plan accordingly. When you come into Terminal 1, look at both wait time boards, see which is shorter, because either one gets to all gates.
Now, parking is anticipated to be pretty full as well for parking, so you can actually pre-book that online as well. We've got the link on our website, and you get a little discount if you pre-book online as well. But yeah, it's looking good here this morning. It almost seems like it kind of goes in waves, and I think it's a bit of a slower moment at the moment.
Yeah, no, so if you're looking to get out, now is the time to do it with those wait times. So it's 20 and 10 minutes, not bad.
That's not bad at all. All right, Megan, thank you. Hey, if you're sticking around town and driving somewhere, take a look at these new gas prices we just got from AAA in the last 4 hours. In Minnesota, the average for a gallon of regular is $3.43. It is a little bit pricier in certain counties like Hennepin County. To our friends in Wisconsin, it's 19 cents cheaper at $3.24 a gallon. Both of those, though, are lower than the national average. And if you're heading out of town for the long weekend, we have you covered this morning here on Sunrise, helping make sure your travel day is smooth sailing. We, of course, will check back in Megan in about 30 minutes.
By the time you head to lunch today, Minneapolis could have a new public safety commissioner. The city council is set to hold a final vote in less than 4 hours on the confirmation of the mayor's nominee, Judge Todrick Barnett. Barnett shared his safety vision with the council on Tuesday, telling them community collaboration is key. In 30 minutes, we're going to have more on the vote this morning and why some council members are skeptical about Barnett's safety plan.
New this morning, President Biden is back at the White House following his trip to Israel. We just got new video into the newsroom of President Biden arriving in D.C. Tonight, he will address the country in a primetime speech from the Oval Office about why the U.S. needs to help both Ukraine and Israel in their wars against Russia and Hamas. Biden plans to ask Congress for $100 billion in supplement funding. $40 billion would go to Israel. Tonight's address starts at 7 o'clock. Members of a tight-knit St. Paul Jewish school community are remembering a 29-year-old man killed in the initial attack by Hamas on October 7th. Noy Maudi taught at the Talmud Torah School for 6 years, becoming a beloved teacher and trusted friend to students and teachers. Friends say they're heartbroken for Noy's family and loved ones in Minnesota and in Israel.
You never recover from this. There will never be a moment when they are okay. And that's too terrible to think about.
To lose anybody, but to lose somebody like that in such a way that was so violent, so horrific, for somebody who was so friendly and so peace-loving. I mean, it's unspeakable.
Noy, his brother-in-law, and two of their friends were attending the music festival near the Gaza border when Hamas terrorists killed them in their car. The family believed his 17-year-old nephew, who was with them, was taken captive and is being held hostage right now in Gaza.
Just about 6:07, we are tracking a developing situation in Washington, D.C. this morning. You're looking live at the U.S. Capitol right now, where just 5 hours, Republicans will vote for a new speaker. It's their third vote in 72 hours. Ohio Representative Jim Jordan fell short of the necessary votes yesterday, this time losing 22 Republican votes. And with a plan to vote again at 11 a.m., Jordan says he's not ready to give up just yet. And new this morning, we are learning Minnesota's 8th congressional district representative, Republican Pete Stauber, voted against the party. He tweeted in the last 13 hours, quote, "I respect Jim Jordan and the important work he has done on the Judiciary Committee. However, after the first vote, it became clear that he cannot unite our conference."
This morning, we now know why police were attempting to search a Benton County home last week that ended with 5 officers being shot. 64-year-old Carl Holmberg is now charged with multiple counts of attempted murder. A newly filed search warrant says authorities suspected meth was being sold from the house. Police say they made previous undercover drug buys there and found drug residue when they tested trash from the house. The BCA says 3 of those officers fired their weapons at the scene, and right now all of them are on a standard administrative leave. Holmberg is in jail this morning, and his first court appearance is set for Tuesday.
This morning, we're learning how St. Paul will use $13 million from the state to prevent violent crime and boost public safety. Mayor Melvin Carter spoke about his plan about 15 hours ago. He says a lot of the funding will go towards the city's police department by putting more officers on the street and bolstering community crime prevention services. Other money will go to the state-of-the-art gear for the city's firefighters.
Over in Minneapolis, City Council member Robin Wansley is introducing an ordinance that will give renters with pre-leases some more protection. The policy would give them the right to exit the lease if their unit is not ready by the move-in date. The ordinance could go to a vote by the end of this year. And this all, of course, comes after Identity Dinkytown Apartments in Minneapolis collected rent from hundreds of U of M students over the summer, despite not being move-in ready. Now, some students sued to break their leases. Residents finally moved in about 3 weeks ago. Well, tough milestone for anyone trying to buy a house right now. The average 30-year fixed rate hit 8% for the first time since 2000. Last week, the number of new mortgage applications fell to their lowest since 1995.
Well, you hate to hear this one. A small Minnesota town will lose its only grocery store. Ryan's Foods is located in Hayfield over in Dodge County. That's about 90 minutes south of the Twin Cities and 33 minutes southwest of Rochester. We're told 2 potential buyers visited the store yesterday. Owner Jim Baldus says Ryan's Foods will close next Tuesday after 25 years of service. He says the building is in bad shape and needs too many repairs. So for groceries, residents in Hayfield will have to travel 25 minutes away to Austin.